Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Reign After Show here on AfterBuzz TV for Season 3, Episode 2. This music just gets you going.
It's so good. It's my first episode back of the season, so I am so excited to be back, you guys.
That's right, the voice of Keetin, Marchi.
I'm here, I swear. I'll be here more often. I just am in a lot of weddings this year, so. I've been gone for
Any of them yours?
What?
Any of them yours?
God, no.
All right. Well, we have some wedding stuff to talk about in this episode.
Oh, true story.
And you know what? This is a little bit overdue, but we have, you guys may remember him as the Duke of Geese from Season 1 and 2. We have Gil Darnell in studio today.
Yes!
The sweetheart of the show.
That's right.
I know, you're so nice.
I never did anything bad on the show. It was a good band.
It's hard to believe that you played that evil of a man.
Huh?
I despised your character.
Oh, thanks very much.
But you're very sweet. I don't despise you at all. I'm very happy you're here.
And interesting though, you say the same of the actor who plays Narcisse.
Craig, yeah.
Yeah, because he's obviously Narcisse is the most deplorable guy on the show, but
oh, he's the worst. He's the one like you love to hate. He's like the Joffrey.
Yeah.
Like a little bit. If you guys watch Game of Thrones, because I always throw out those references.
But yeah, no, amazing guy.
So
even though he's a New Zealander.
Oh, he's a Kiwi.
So good. Aussie Kiwi rivalry.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot to discuss, but before we get into the plot tonight, and we of course, by popular demand, still have Castle Corner, and we got some news and gossip for you. We'll talk with Gil. We'll kind of recap not only his time during Reign, but other stuff. So stay tuned for the plot because we will get into that. But first, Gil, let's open up with Reign, and then we'll kind of expand to the rest of it.
Sure.
How did you get involved with Reign? And what was that experience like?
Yeah, originally I got called in to play. Remember, there's a character that got killed off. Who's trying to get with Catherine. They killed him off. He's one of the Scottish guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I got called in for that part, and luckily they said, "Oh no, we've got a cooler role for you coming up." So then I went back in to read for a recurring role of the Duke of Geese, and so I knew this was coming up, and then so I read a lot into it. And what a joy to play such a character on the show, and so then I went to meet all the people involved, and luckily they gave me the job, so yeah, it became a better role than I anticipated.
Did you when you said you looked into the character, did you look up the real history of this guy?
Yeah, absolutely. I just got immediately onto Amazon, and I just downloaded every Kindle book on Mary, Queen of Scots, and then there's a lot of stuff on the Duke of Guise too, but most of it was in French. Okay. So it's like, I mean, my French is okay, but it's like reading a French novel is a whole different work of art. But yeah, he's just a fascinating guy, and his story, as I was saying to Phil before we came to air, was, he was actually injured, almost mortally wounded in this battle in Italy, I think, on the border of Switzerland. But my assistant, put himself on top of my body so that I'd be saved when the enemy came through to kill all the people who were wounded. My assistant saved me, and then I just kind of trudged up after everyone left, and got on my horse and rode back to France.
Gosh, where's
but
his biopic?
Yeah,
come on.
Amazing story, amazing guy, So, but yeah, no. So it was fascinating to explore him. So.
But you have to be a baddie.
Yeah.
He was not like as cool as he seems he was. Well, how fun is it to play a villain?
Oh yeah, and I'll never forget the first day of set, because we have all these trained stuntmen playing my soldiers, and they're all on horseback, amazing horsemen. And I thought it's minus 25 degrees that day. I want to go meet my troops. And they said, Gil, do you want? No, you need earmuffs. You need earmuffs. I said, no, I'm good. I'm like I'm Maximus. I'm a warrior. I can handle this, right? So I go, hey guys, how you doing? And by this time I'm about 10 minutes away from shelter. And my ears are just about to drop off my nose. Where are my earmuffs? Yeah, so like Duke of Guise became a big wimp in 2 seconds flat.
That's funny. Well, when you kind of first got, after doing this research, what were you most excited to potentially see on the series besides, I mean, it seems like this battle certainly, but beyond that?
Yeah, no, I think because the humanity of the Duke of Guise, it's like, I don't think, think even the bad guys are, they don't think, I didn't think I was bad, and I'm trying to make France great, myself and my brother, we've got the best interest in France in our minds, and it's just we just do everything we can to make sure that we make sure that that our niece is protected, and we make France great again. So just explain that. So, yeah.
Are you looking at me? I'm just such a history buff, so I could talk to you about his history and his backstory. Robert, have you played very many historical characters before, or is this kind of the first real person that you got to portray?
I think it probably was, yeah, and I think that's what I think. Yeah, aside from drama school, drama school explored a lot of that, but yeah, I think that was so fascinating, and the pencil thin moustache and the triangular goatee, but they wouldn't have any of that. But no, it was just amazing, just a great time, and such a great crew, and everyone from the drivers to the catering to everyone was just wonderful.
You guys are out in the elements, which is Did
and
you have to do any training ahead of time?
Poor Torrance is every week as he had the elements. Well, most everyone else is at course.
I mean, when Jonathan Kelts was here, you were saying how your armor is actually, it looks like armor, but it's it's like sweatshirt material kind of, and that's all to keep you warm, and you guys are just freezing.
We've got hand warmers in our gloves. We've got boot warmers in our boots and everything.
So you're not method acting.
Well, of course I didn't have this. Yeah, no. Yeah. I loaded up on that stuff as we went on.
And the girls are in dresses and I mean these gorgeous dresses. So you guys, Canada, it's rough terrain.
What was going back? What was your favorite scene to act in or storyline? From whether season 1 or 2. I mean, season 2, from what I recall, was more of your heavier stuff in terms of you had more involvement. Because there was that whole Henry storyline and everything kind of going on with that.
I think just the opportunity to explore. I didn't, when I got killed off. I thought I was becoming they were going to have more of an intrigue with Catherine, and I adore Megan Follows, and when I saw it from the very first episode when I was acting with, because she speaks so softly, even when we're doing the announcements, praise King Henry, and she's got her line, and then I'm after her, and I can't hear because she's speaking so softly, and I just have to hope she's actually said that, and then come in, and then she's just so subtle, and I think just the opportunity to have more work with her was fascinating. And we trained with the same acting coach. And as I was saying, and she's the sister-in-law of a good friend of mine, and she's amazing. She's just amazing. And I've known nothing about Anne of Green Gables, but anyone just knows her from that.
She's like this kind of Canadian star. She's like the Meryl Streep of Canada.
Yeah, she is. She basically is. But you'd never know. She's just such a normal, lovely lady, and I think.
Who did you kind of most befriend? Because I mean, you talked about Craig, who plays Narcisse. You just spoke of Megan, but then when I mentioned Jonathan Kelts, not that you guys weren't friends, but you guys didn't interact a lot. No, so who did you really interact, and who kind of perhaps you wanted to, but just didn't?
Yeah, I think Jonathan was. We never did the same episode. Strangely enough, we never actually worked on the same episode. But I heard so many good things through mutual friends and through other people in the cast. But I think I'm such an outsider coming into it. And I was very I really just kind of kept to myself, and it worked for me. I wanted, because for me Adelaide and Frances, they're brats to me. So I didn't want it to really get too close
with them.
No, so I kind of kept my distance, and then it worked well because they kind of really didn't know me too well. I know maybe it's too methody and all that sort of rubbish, but yeah. So. But yeah, so then, getting to know Craig, and I wanted coming into when Craig came onto the show, Craig Parker came on, I wanted to hate him, because he's nasty, and I was like, our storylines, but he's such a sweetheart. It's like, I'm trying to keep method, but he's just such a sweet guy, and I find myself just joking with him. And but yeah,
just remember, he's a Kiwi. He's a Kiwi.
He's a Kiwi. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But Megan, I guess, yeah. Any spare second, I just run to Megan and just hang out in her trailer and just kind of trying to glean some. Hope some excellence just rubs off on me somehow.
I mean, it's just interesting. I feel like every week her character, like, they just want to kill her off, like from the character's perspective, but obviously from the show perspective, they're like, there's no way we can let her go.
Well, in history.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, history can be rewritten on a CW show.
Yeah, come on,
Well,
that's
you can't kill off Catherine.
Well, Francis is never going to die, right?
No, well, he's pretty close to it at this point. So.
Yeah, no, not going to happen. Not going to happen. Don't break those girls' hearts.
Keetin, any other questions?
One thing about what an intelligent guy. I'm not sure if you've met Toby, but he's amazing. He can do he just had the Rubik's Cube in the trailer one day, in the makeup trailer. So someone just gave it, and he just 1 minute did it. Are you kidding me? This guy's like a genius.
He seems like a smart guy. Like he
is. He's just so cerebral and just just a fascinating. He's a fascinating guy.
Adelaide seems to say, I feel like they both seem very, very intelligent, and that's why I feel like the chemistry is so strong between them on camera, and you believe it because they're just. I believe that at their young age they could both be monarchs because they are just intelligent people.
And an amazing thing about those two guys is this apparently wasn't planned, okay, but Adelaide in Toronto, I'm not sure she still does, but when I was working there, she did. Adelaide lives on Queen Street in Toronto, and guess where?
King Street.
Toby lives. King Street. But they didn't plan this. I said, come on, surely. But they, apparently it wasn't planned.
Interesting. I'm sure some assistant was like, wouldn't it be funny if we just did this? And
let's set them up in these apartments.
And then, Nostradamus, he was a lovely guy too.
We call him Hostradamus. Or we
King does.
Hostradamus on the show.
Yeah.
You don't call him that on set?
No, just privately. Just Hostradamus. What's up, buddy?
Well,
I wonder why he doesn't text me anymore. Those Hostradamus texts.
That'd be funny. Keetin, any other Reign questions before we?
Oh gosh, I could go on forever and be like, so.
I love that you guys are so, you guys.
I know we're like super fans.
Show, yeah. It's awesome.
Oh my goodness. Favorite. I mean, do you guys have any like funny like kind of like any like times on set where it was just really funny that you kind of think back of and you're like, that was a fun day, or that was kind of a crazy day, minus your nose falling off and ears falling off. Like.
Okay, so I had to. The great thing about it was we had to become great horsemen, you know. So we had I thought, give me as many riding lessons as so every spare second I'd race out to like 40 minutes north of Toronto, and they'd train me how to ride the horse well. Because as a kid I wanted to be a jockey, but I was scared of horses. A slight career drawback. Anyway, so but when I finally get on my horse for the first scene on my horse, it's like 5 foot deep in snow, right? And as I said, all the guys, the stuntmen, are amazing riders, right? And they say, okay, Gil, so this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna trot out of the snow, take your army to this mark, stop on this mark, halt your guys behind, hold your men behind, and then you just trot onto the castle, right? And so no problem. And it's a huge wide shot, right? So we got cameras everywhere, and it's like this can't go wrong. So and action, and I'm kicking my horse not hard enough, right? And my horse is so placid he won't move. So I'm kicking, and all the guys behind me, the expert guys are they're trying to get my horse to move, and suddenly my horse just takes off.
Oh!
And I can't. And it's like, and cut. And okay, Gil, and we do this about 3 times. This, okay, Gil, that's enough for the day. I said, you're bringing my stuntman now, aren't you? So in the final cut, there's just me just walking my horse up. I was like, here's me wanting to be a jockey. What a failure.
Well, they probably put you on like the most it's like you can't put the famous actor on like the crazy horse, but then the crazy horse.
Oh, my horse Clancy was incredible. He was like a white horse. See, I was a good guy. The bad guy rides a bad black horse. I rode the white horse.
No, you were in disguise.
I was a good guy.
Well, you were like Saruman. Because it wasn't he on like a white horse at first, and then he. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Lord of the Rings. Not Saruman. Oh, what's his name?
They're Sauron and Saruman,
yeah, they
and I can never get which one's which.
I know, right?
That's the fact that they. I wish I could tell Tolkien, don't name him that. It's too similar.
It's like Tyrion and
Tyrion and Tywin.
Yeah, it's like I still to this day I don't know.
I know. I always they're like, no, you're the imp and the mean guy.
Yeah.
The mean dad.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Do you have any more questions about Reign?
Well, let's expand this world of Gills. Well, currently you're on.
Do you say word of skills or word of gills?
World of Gills.
World of Gills.
The world of Gil.
You're currently now on Fox's Bones.
Yeah.
You just started this past Thursday.
Yeah. Did you watch it?
I unfortunately did not.
Scandalous. Yeah.
I haven't seen Bones before, and so I felt it would have been just me. It would have been scandalous for me to just jump in. I have to start with.
Good save, man. Good save.
I got to start from the back.
Okay.
Well, and then you go really far back for Bones. My first
11th season. I mean, incredible.
My first extra gig ever was on Bones, and it was such a fun day because it was like the 200th episode, I think, and it was like set in the 1950s, and so we all got to be like dressed in like really cool vintage costumes, and the main guy was directing it, so I was like, oh my god, Angel.
No.
Oh my god, David Boreanaz. Yeah. So, but it was everybody on that crew is so nice. I worked on that show a couple times. So
seriously, like they when I first started it, because I was just a guest star to them, and they didn't know I was going to do anything else, and they just embraced me like I was a series regular, and just the sweetest, nicest people that I've ever worked, except for Reign, of course.
Yeah. But you're just saying the same thing about Reign.
Yeah, exactly. But just it's just what a joy to. And
what is the storyline that you're doing?
To go on Fox Studios every day is just amazing. So basically, I'm playing a Pulitzer. Now the great story behind this is I'm playing a Pulitzer Prize-winning photographer. So doing my research for this, I know nothing about photography, although I played a photographer on Entourage. Yeah. And then and so. I googled like Pulitzer Prize-winning photographers, and I saw these books by this guy called David Kennelly. So I ordered these books, and the great thing about Kindle is you can read them straight away, and I got these other hardbacks in and stuff. So I'm reading all about this guy David Kennelly, this fascinating guy, and about how he captures an image and everything. I turn up on set, and they've set up the set like a gallery, right, with all these photos, and I recognize this. This is David. These are David Kennelly's photos, right? Mm-hmm. And I hear the director saying, "Oh, did I David Kennelly?" I said, "Wait. You've based this we based this character on David Kennelly. Are you kidding me? I've got all his books." And so then I was like total brownie points, and think, "Wow, this guy's
this guy comes prepared. He is ready to go."
And so then it's we got to take a photo. We'll take a photo of you in the box, and he's a good friend of mine. We'll get David to come down. So literally within 2 hours on set, this guy that I've been reading about is on set, and I was like, it's like, hey, David, tell me about, when you go on assignment, what do you do here? And what a amazing sweetheart. Loved it, like totally unassuming. If I'd won a Pulitzer Prize, I'd say, hey guys, Facebook, check out my Pulitzer. But David's such a wonderful, modest guy. And so, yeah, it's basically about that. And one of the girls, Michaela, takes a shine to me. She's practicing photography. And then, so she has this I'm not giving spoiler alerts because it's aired on Thursday. So I actually turn up to her exhibition. She thinks everyone's joking because I've signed on the silent auction, but it actually is me. And then we just filmed the follow-up episode from that, and it's kind of good little. It's very interesting how it goes. So
are you going to become bad?
May it last 10 more seasons. No, it's like, well, I hope not. It's like it's cool to actually play like a normal
nice guy.
I think I'm a nice guy. Yeah.
Directors and writers must love you because I mean just even kind of reading your history and now the way you speak, I mean, you're so well versed, and you just do a lot of research.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean,
how many languages you speak in total?
Man,
7. I mean, is it 7? It's more.
It says 27. No, I mean, like I've always had a passion for languages, and the problem with me is that I take on too much. Like I want to learn French, man. Like I was studying 3 languages at this Beverly Hills Lingual Institute at one time, and I was so proud of myself, and I said to the receptionist, "So I must be studying the most languages here, right?" And I think she says, "No, actually, we've got one guy who studies 4 languages. Put me down for Arabic and Portuguese." And then so I'm trying to, but every week the homework is just like I should just do 1 language every year, but I just love it, And so what a great opportunity to learn. I used to work at Heathrow Airport, and like just doing promotions, like handing out flyers, and everyone hated this job. And I thought, what a great opportunity, because you see all these people from everywhere in the world. Let's learn something today, right? So you see all the passports. You see a Finnish guy come and say, "Hey man, how do you say hello in Finnish?" And he say, "Hey." I say, "Okay, thanks man, hey." So the next Finnish passport you see come through, you say, "Hey," and he goes, "Huh?" I say, "How do you say thank you in your language?" He says, "Kiitos." I say, "Okay, kiitos, thanks man." And he goes, next Finnish guy, "Hey, kiitos." "Oh Jesus Christ!" This guy can speak Finnish in Heathrow Airport, So. but yeah, what an opportunity, you know. It's, but like, there's only so much you can take on. So.
Yeah, but I mean,
I grew up in Hong Kong as a kid, so I speak Cantonese, which is the craziest thing. But
wow.
But that's because there's no special skill because I grew up there. That's my hometown, you know. But my twin brothers are like you'd think they're Chinese. They speak so well.
So
really?
Now you're basing a project on your brothers.
Them,
you know, and with your love of wushu.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't an initial love of wushu. I wanted to be because Hong Kong's such an amazing kung fu. The kung fu scene there is so incredible, and so I based both my twin brothers. I based the story on them taken to extremes. So one brother's an amazing gambler. He's incredible with horses. He can look at a horse and see if it's ready to win, and he's just amazing. And then the other brother's was a police inspector in Hong Kong. And so I've taken it to extremes, and my dad's a Supreme Court judge in real life. So like the father gets killed by the triads, who are like the mafia of Hong Kong, and then there's two twins end up on opposite sides of the law. One becomes an amazing crime fighter, and the other one seems to be like a triad, a mafia guy, but actually he's trying to infiltrate the system from the inside to get revenge. So they're both working for the same goal, but the good brother thinks that the bad one's a total deadbeat. And so don't anyone steal my story.
No, I'm like so into it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's crazy.
And it's like, you know, so the protagonist is like the good cop's like a Lethal Weapon, Mel Gibson sort of guy with a bit of Darth Vader in there too, you know. And try to picture this, and then and as kids, that my twin brothers were these amazing cross country runners, and so I just based it on them, and we just anyone got $5 million, so let's make this. So it's all ready to go, and it's been a great experience. And doing that, I had a development executive from Weinstein's getting other projects, and we've got another project very similar on lines to Gravity, like a really cool space project. And so we're working on that, and it's all ready to go, just raising the financing for that.
So are you kind of like, it seems like you're kind of diving into the world of writing, the world of producing, is that?
Only producing for my sake. But writing in the sense that, I want that story told as, because I know Hong Kong so well, and because in the middle of Hong Kong we have a horse racing track, and imagine Times Square, and there's a horse racing track right in the middle of Times Square with 100,000 people watching twice a week, and it's just crazy, and it's like that, and it's just a gambling mad town, and that's why.
That's so cool.
Intriguing.
Yeah. Have you ever been to the Derby? Kentucky?
The Kentucky Derby. No, I haven't. No, but
that's probably nothing compared to what's in Hong Kong.
I used to. So I went from Hong Kong to Australia, and I was actually in the phys ed field. I only got into acting like when I was like 28, 30 years old, but so I used to study the horse. I'd do all my work from Monday to Thursday, and every Friday I'd have off, and I'd just study horse racing for the whole day, and then go to the races on Saturday.
You can make, I made $300.
Really? Nice.
My little sister works with racehorses, and she worked at a breeding farm, and now she works with yearlings, and she wants to be a trainer, and so she lives in Kentucky, and we all went to the Derby, and she knows how to like
America stops.
Yeah, well, and she just knows, she can literally look at a horse similar, and she just knows. She knows, like, she'll tell me, okay, these are gonna be the top 3. Yeah. And like those, if they're not in the top 3, they'll be in the top 5. Yeah. And it's crazy. I'm like, I don't know how you do it, and she's so little.
It's a skill,
it's like, what?
Yeah, it's amazing. I love horses, but
But you can't get them to go.
I have no idea how to make a move. But I can look like I know.
Yeah, there you go. All you have to do is bet on them.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
You just have to know which one's going to go faster than the other.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to be the guy on it.
Yeah, right.
Very cool. Anything else that you want to kind of tell the fans while you have this opportunity before we get into Reign's episode?
I don't know, like I'd love everyone unfortunately it's not released yet. I don't know, it's a film called Redirected. It's this crazy film I shot in Europe, and basically it's like Hangover meets Lock, Stock, 2 Smoking Barrels or Snatch. And it's like I have this bulletproof plan to rob this gangster Vinnie Jones, and then we just fly off to Malaysia. Can't go wrong. And then we get the money, we get on our plane, and there's the volcanoes that happened in Iceland years ago caused our plane to be redirected to Lithuania. And so we spend one night in Lithuania, and everything just goes horribly wrong. And then it just tells my story, the 2 other guys' stories, like the 4 guys, and the 1 guy's kind of roped into the whole thing. and it's an insane tale. And I think it's hilarious. And I just hope it gets a wider audience in America.
I love those types of movies.
Yeah, it's a huge success
It's like a comedy of errors.
Yeah, exactly. And I end up like running the streets of Lithuania naked with a handcuffed to a radiator. So yeah,
there you go. That's how you got the female audience. You got me at Lock Talks, Two Smoking Barrels. You got her.
Whoa.
Easy, Ty. Easy. Yeah, but yeah, Redirected. Watch that.
Redirected. And do you know when that comes out?
Yeah, I really don't know what's happening with the American release. I know you can get it now on DVD, probably anyway on Amazon or iTunes, but yeah, it's a funny film.
Check it out.
So look there for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Support good people.
Yeah,
right?
Really. Seriously. Like, you're talking about how everybody's a sweetheart, and you're just like, you're so nice.
No.
All right, so let's dive into tonight's episode. As mentioned, season 3. Episode 2. Keetin, overall thoughts?
Overall thoughts of this episode. This season has like come on really, really strong for me. I really enjoy it. I'm so glad that like the giant elephant in the room of Frances dying is finally out there, because you know me, I always like fight for the historical accuracy, even though CW takes a lot of liberties, but I don't hate you for it. I don't. I love you for it. So I don't know. I think it was good. I love having Catherine back.
Do you know which episode he's going to die, though? And you can say spoiler alert if you do.
I think I do know what episode he's going to die in.
All right, then.
I don't. I shouldn't say it, though. Let's pretend we don't.
So Americans say spoiler. If you say spoiler alert, that means everyone just shuts it.
Yeah, earmuffs. It's like earmuffs.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they have the option to skip over it if they want to.
Okay, I see.
The creators have already come out and said he's going to die before the end of the season.
Yeah, but that could be in episode 3, or that could be in the penultimate episode. So.
I feel like
it doesn't really give us much.
Mid-season finale, we're gonna lose him.
Okay.
We're gonna lose him.
Okay.
I'll be really sad though. It won't be the same, but they've already changed all like the little promos, and instead of Mary and Frances, it's Mary and Elizabeth. So it's very sad.
So she's not going anywhere.
No, of course not. I won't spoil what happens to her, but just look it up.
Read a book.
Read a book.
Exactly. Doesn't have to be French.
There's a scandalous thought.
All right.
What do you think?
Well, I really like I like how we're bringing Elizabeth, and obviously now we're seeing more and more of her, and in particular her solo. Mm-hmm. You know, because last week it was her and Catherine. This week it's her dealing with the aftermath of that. And kind of the pressures on her, and so to now see, whereas Catherine, she's always kind of been very strong, but to see Elizabeth, who is supposed to be strong, but deep down, she has her breakdown tonight and she cries. I like seeing the dichotomy of Mary and her. Because I know, obviously, I don't know how much influence you were, or how much you interacted with wardrobe, but I know the wardrobe department is huge for Reign.
Amazing.
Like, the way that they dress these girls, and the men as well, is absolutely stunning, where they pull their costumes from and everything. And I was very kind of interested in the fact of how they dressed Elizabeth this episode, because she is this amazing, strong monarch, and last week's episode, she looked fierce, like the way she had her collar. It looked like your traditional Elizabeth. Obviously, again, they don't make them look. It's like modernized versions of these historical figures. But this week's episode, I thought she looked very passive. She had like a braid. She did not look like the queen that she was last week. And I wonder if they did that on purpose because of like what.
What was the name of the girl with the hideous face?
Clarissa?
There you go. That's it. No, because I she kind of reminded me of Clarissa.
What?
But a very attractive. The actress are very attractive.
She's stunning.
Yeah.
But the hair, and she had she had
what
dirt all over his
Did
face.
we ever get that resolved? What happened to her?
She's dead.
You know what? It's still TBD.
What?
We brought in King Henry. We can bring back the Duke of Guise. We can bring back anybody.
You could come back.
Evil twin.
Oh, if they brought King Henry back, he's like, that's like the weight of my heart, really.
Let's start with Bash and kind of the supernatural, because that seems to be, I feel like they, with Bash, they don't quite know which way to go with him, and so they give him that supernatural storyline. And for me, it's, Keetin, what did you think, kind of dealing with this? Because I never know, because they're playing the fine line of, it could be real, or it could be supernatural, and it splits the middle.
I just want them to give Bash more things that mean like, I feel like things are so serious with what is going on within the castle and within the monarchy and within the family. And so, like, the fact that Bash is always running off to, like, do these
errands
and taking care of mystical things and stuff, I'm kind of just like, Bash is like he was, when we had that kind of love triangle between him, Mary, and Francis, season 1, I thought I loved his character so much, and like I still loved what was going on with Kenna and all that stuff, but I felt like I want to bring Bash back to reality this season a little bit, and I'm very much over the witch lady that he's chasing after.
Let me ask you this: not that you had any kind of involvement.
I say keep Bash out in the wilderness.
Yeah,
Torrance loves Benelli. He's fine. Give him some more errands.
It was a fun time with it. But did they? Again, not that you were involved in these storylines, but did they ever kind of go over about where they stood, where Reign's stance on the supernatural is? That's the ultimate question to me.
Yeah, they never confided anything to me. I mean, Laurie was a sweetheart. She said I could to ring her anytime, and it was like I wish I'd taken her up. Then I could have said, "Hey, Laurie, tell me about the supernatural."
We should call her right now.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I have no insight at all into.
Well, what would then from your perspective, seeing the storylines, are they? Do you think they're playing it more that it is the supernatural, or that it's just something real and we're mistaking it for something supernatural, but there's an explanation behind it?
Yeah, I'd go with the latter. Well, I mean, what do you think?
I like the idea that they're playing with it, that it just turns out to be someone's shadow that everyone's scared of.
Oh, really?
I actually like that. I don't necessarily want the supernatural brought into this. I think there's so much interesting stuff going on that it's almost superfluous, which is a compliment to them ultimately.
Yeah, and it is such a fascinating story as it is, as history was written. Yeah. That I guess you don't really need that, but I think it adds an extra. Because I mean, those days was all about they all had their these crazy beliefs and the mystical beliefs, didn't they? And they didn't really know as much about how the world ticks as that we do these days. So
yeah. Well, I mean, you know what? The one thing, certainly the one Narcisse, right? Speaking of, we brought up Nostradamus at the beginning, but his one prophecy has stayed throughout this, where that Francis will eventually die. Yeah. And certainly that's come to fruition, but yeah.
We thought we were going to get it last season, and then it didn't happen.
We thought maybe first season too.
I was sure he's going to die in this season too.
No, they've said it. They've put it out there. The creators of Reign have said Francis will be gone. Toby, I'm so sad, will be gone, and it breaks my heart, but he will be. I don't know. I like going back to the supernatural. I do enjoy the fact that they kind of leave it up to your interpretation, because I feel like that is what the supernatural is to everybody, even in modern day. Is like who believes in it? How much do you believe in it?
That's what drives me nuts. I need an answer. I can't, that's why I watch TV, to get answers.
Hang in there 7 more seasons. Just hang in there, man.
Is it going to be 7 more seasons?
No.
I was like, oh my God.
It's all confirmed.
He knows.
It's all confirmed.
All right, let's move on to, Lola is one of your favorite characters. I don't know if you told me off air or during the show.
Real life personas, yeah, she's an amazing girl.
And so I really like the storyline because here's Narcisse, who I think genuinely likes Lola, and yet the way he finally ends up wooing her is the most deplorable act by putting rats into her.
There's a rat. She found a rat in her bathtub
with a note that said
from Narcisse.
Yeah.
Basically, paraphrasing.
He's obsessed with baths, isn't he? Narcisse loves a good bath.
And that's the that's the thing, because Lola then thinks it's Catherine, because how much have you shared with Catherine about our intimate relationship? And he's like, I didn't know, I don't know, I'll protect you, and he coerces her into
an affair. Well, because he wants to marry her. He wants to make an honest woman out of her. She's kind of like, nah, let's just have some fun, because this is kind of, Francis will never approve. This won't be good. And somehow this episode, though, he seals the deal. Just so you know. Oh, he does. Nice. He does. He sealed the deal this episode, right? Is that that's how you would interpret it, right?
I mean, he's there at the picnic. He makes he at her favorite picnic spot. He's there waiting. She's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like,
"I'm creepy."
Here. Yeah. But
it's like the way he's wooing her is creepy.
He toes that line between creepy and not creepy. He's almost like modern day.
Creepy and charming.
No, in modern day, this is what on one of the other after shows, I forget what it was. Like people were looking at women's Pinterest, and based off of that, setting up like the best first dates. Which seems like a good idea, but it's also creepy. Yeah. That's what Narcisse is.
That's a nice analogy.
No, but like I hope the people who are looking at the Pinterest boards aren't leaving dead rats with notes tied to their legs in these women's bathtubs.
That's what sets it over the top.
Yes. That's a little more creepy, has to be said.
Very creepy.
But so, do we like Narcisse in this regard? Because, I genuinely like Narcisse, but after tonight's episode, I'm just, as soon as we see that, I'm like, you're back to I don't like you anymore. You're not a good guy at all. You can't be trusted.
I know, but with losing Francis, I truly believe that Narcisse is a character that has been written that he does truly love Lola, and that he will protect her, and within protecting her, will protect her son, Francis's son. So I feel like it's a good match for her because I don't feel like she's gonna really get anybody else, and Narcisse is a powerful man, like as much as you might not think he is.
Yeah, but that power could go against France, and certainly Mary.
Oh, well,
That's what scares me the most.
So does he have the best interests of France?
That's what I'm saying. How many times he's the guy with the information, but let's say he decides to cut it off.
But but if it comes down to it, like Lola, your son or your best friend.
So you're saying
I feel like she's gonna choose for her. She's gonna choose her son. I think that's something we're going to see a lot of, having her have to choose.
But, okay, I want to know what scenario, because why wouldn't Mary also help protect the son?
Because it's not her child.
There you go.
And it threatens her reign.
Okay.
So in the end, once Francis is gone and she loses that protection, he is a huge threat to her. So, I don't know. I think Narcisse is going to sneak his way into Lola's heart even more, and end up getting married to her, and then gonna try to turn her against Mary. And I think, it's gonna be sad because they're besties.
Let me ask you guys this just from an opinion perspective. Is it good? This is now. Last week we had Frances telling her that she shouldn't go with Narcisse. Now you have Mary telling her. It's one of those things when you tell someone don't do this, they're much more apt to do it. And I feel like that's part of the reason. I don't know, I don't know if she'd be fully into this if it wasn't for that as well. Do you guys agree or disagree?
I like the theory. I agree with the theory. It's like the old, sending your daughter to convent school, and she ends up, she thinks she's going to be safe, and the convent girl always rebels, doesn't she? So,
yeah,
right.
It's like all my Catholic school girlfriends. They all got crazy.
And we'll leave it at that.
Come on, let's go. Come on, Keetin.
Not me. I said all my friends. Okay. No, it's like the more, like you tell somebody don't touch the big red button, they want to touch it even more. So it's I don't know. I can see that theory working and stuff, but that's not how I want to go through life. You tell me not to do something, I don't know. I'm not going to do it unless it's like a stupid reason you're telling me not to do it. Mm-hmm. So. That might be silly, but then it's all.
I'll try it out next week, and I'll report back to viewers whether or not Keetin took the bait.
Took the bait. Oh, I don't. You haven't told me not to do anything yet.
I will.
Okay.
I can't tell you now because you're gonna know what it is.
Okay. Well, good luck with that one.
Fair enough. All right. So Claude and Leith. Let's talk about this because last week we got Greer. This week we don't get Greer, but we get Leith, and last week we didn't get Leith. And Claude is. Leith is Claude's bodyguard. Now, potentially, there's a developing romance?
I don't know. Did you ever have scenes with Claude?
No, she's just starting when I was...
when you were...
When I was getting killed, man. So what, she's dating...
She's now... So Leith and Greer broke up. Okay. Sad face, right? Yeah, it's like they're meant to be together.
But it was Leith's decision.
So why'd they break up?
Because she wouldn't stop her job at the horror house.
Madam.
But she wasn't, she's not...
He wanted her to be a good woman.
So, I mean, makes sense.
Yeah.
Can't hate him. I don't know. I don't think Claude is a good match for Leith. I think Claude is crazy, and I think Leith belongs with Greer, even though she's a madam. He needs to get over it. True love is true love.
What are the Twitter people
Yeah, what are the Twitter people? I don't know. Everybody loves Leith and Greer together. Yeah. Most people do, and just because like that was kind of that in that very, I think it was even in the pilot episode, the Nostradamus kind of prediction of who she would be, who would be her one true love, and the guy it was Leith, and so he worked so hard to get up to the status he is now, and she kind of has fallen. So they're like they've gone like this, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're meant to be together. They're gonna end up together someday. We're gonna have to kind of beat around the bush, and he's gonna go through a couple other ladies, including a princess.
That would bring up his status. No?
Yeah, big time. Man.
I mean, how was it was surprising to see Leith kind of spying on Charles and Claude when they were talking about Francis' death. That's not typical of Leith.
Oh yeah,
I mean, do you think it was typical?
It was not typical, but I don't know. Leith is figuring out how to be at court, and he falls into things. And Leith is not the kind of guy like he's a helper. He's a people pleaser, and he always wants to help people, and that's what gets him in trouble a lot. So he probably heard, oh, it sounds like something's wrong with Claude, and so he's staying and listening around. And it's like, oh crap, I just heard something I wasn't supposed to hear, and but then again he turns it back of like, Claude, like I went and looked for what you were looking for. How can I help you? Because I want to help you, and because that's just who Leith is, and he's a good dude. And I don't think he meant to be malicious by overhearing their conversation.
Could he quit his job because technically it was assigned to Claude by Catherine? So could he just be like, you know what,
I'm done
I'm
with
good.
This.
He told her that today. He's like, your mom's in jail. Sorry about you, but I'm out. Like he said that today. So yeah, he could very well walk away.
This negates the contract. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I think that's more than fair. Speaking of Catherine, this is in terms of France, this is the most interesting part of the storyline. Catherine revolves around all of this, and we kind of open the episode up where Francis is declaring to all of his family members and including Bash that he is dying. And I wasn't expecting this to come this early. I thought for sure he would hide it, because it's one of those things. And correct me if perhaps I'm wrong, but whenever and I think Catherine was the one who said this, the secrets are best kept when it's only you, because as soon as you tell one person, the world knows. And I feel like
great advice,
because now we're talking about Leith. Now he knows. Now Lola knows. And now what Lola knows, Narcisse could know.
Heard it through the grapevine.
It's just I thought it was a bad move by Francis, perhaps.
But they at some point they need to find allies in this. It can't just be him and Mary. They can't do this alone. And I think that's been a problem of theirs in the past, where they thought they could do it alone, and they've gotten in trouble because of it. And obviously they've trusted the wrong people at times too. But they're trying to keep it as best in their inner circle as they can, and they're trying to cover their tracks too, while always having somebody look at watching Catherine. Because, for example, Francis's little brother went to go speak with Catherine, and they made sure they had somebody overhearing any type of conversation they would have, so they would cover their tracks and make sure that she couldn't double cross them again. So I think they're learning from their mistakes. They're making smarter decisions, and they're also realizing we can't do this alone. We need each other, and we need our family and friends. So I think it's a smart move.
Do you think it's smart?
Sounds smart to me. I'm sold,
Character
Keetin.
arcs here. Character arcs.
I don't know. I just think it's a bad move. Again, now half the French court could, it's episode 3. I'm telling you.
I know this is moving very fast. I feel like we're only 2 episodes in, but I literally feel like the story of this season has gone we would be at the mid-season finale of
So when did Francis's little brother come into the show?
He came in last week. Okay. But now obviously his involvement has grown in tonight's episode.
Okay, yeah.
And I think in terms of, he's not going anywhere. I think he's gonna have a major storyline for certainly the rest of the season.
Well, because what happens when Francis passes away in history? I don't want to people can
go ahead.
Spoiler. So obviously Catherine is very instrumental in what he does after Francis dies and what happens to Mary, and they might be trying their best right now to make sure she's okay, but things are going to get a little shady, and we don't hang out at French court forever.
Go.
Spoiler. Let's talk about history. I love it.
Spoiler alert. Doesn't once Francis dies, isn't that when Mary does head to Scotland?
Yeah, she gets. I believe they kick her out.
Yeah.
So yeah,
because there's no reason for her to be there anymore.
No,
exactly.
and she's just a threat to Catherine, and like, so.
Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like we're gonna have a whole new location then, maybe second half of the season, like not French Court anymore.
Oh, I guess if he goes end of
at the mid-season finale,
yeah, probably start the next season, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna. I don't think we're gonna get a fourth location.
Well, maybe we'll get like the season finale cliffhanger will be Mary just getting kicked out of the castle by Catherine.
I think that makes sense because last season we all speculated when Elizabeth's coming, and every week it would be Keetin. We're getting Elizabeth next week.
I just love Elizabeth. I love her. Her story.
Well, we got her in the season finale. We got the glimpse of like, hello, Catherine, and then cut to black. Yeah. And then obviously now we have her, but it took a while to get there. So I don't think we're going to Scotland anytime soon.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
Well.
Sorry,
Keetin.
It's okay. I'm gonna go to Scotland next year, so.
Are you really?
I think I'm going to make a trip.
Oh, nice.
I love Scotland. I haven't been in a while.
So
I digress.
Let me ask you guys this, because if you're Francis, why aren't you killing Catherine? You know that as long as this woman is alive, just like as long as Narcisse is alive, because for the longest time I thought the only way to get rid of Narcisse was to kill him. She remains a threat.
Well, Mary said it. She's like, we cannot. He doesn't want not only the death of his father on his conscience, but then as well as the death of his mother. And obviously, Francis is a religious guy. Like, he was brought up very religious, and so with his death looming, I doubt he really wants to get any more blood on his hands when he's going to be going.
That's when Mary steps up, tells Bash, "Hey, you're gonna go to the woods again, and you're gonna do something." But when you come back, tell them that you've taken Catherine to a far away country that no one's ever heard of.
But when Francis goes, doesn't that open up the way for Bash to come back into a?
Well, that's some of the whispers that Catherine is putting in Charles's ear, which is Francis's younger brother, is you have all these threats. Yeah. Like, you need me. You don't, like, Mary's a threat, and like Bash is a threat, and they're like the bastard son is a threat. And so this whole episode was really interesting because it was Charles kind of being like, who do I listen to, as this like 14-year-old kid who's now kind of at the center of what's going to happen with this giant alliance between France and Scotland. And by the end of this episode, he's now betrothed to Mary as soon as Francis kicks the bucket, which is kind of awkward, really awkward, actually. I don't know, you're 14 and you're an older brother. Like, that's, I mean, the whole way things worked back then was awkward. So it's interesting to see it play out, especially because that kid looks so young. The kid they got to play his younger brother, he looks very, very young. He's very good.
Yeah. Well, he's certainly older than when we first met Charles.
Yeah, so it's not the same guy.
Oh no,
I don't think
he's definitely
so.
hit a growth spurt if it was, because he's really tall.
Okay.
But yeah.
I mean, if I had to get, like, age-wise, if I had to guess, like, when we first saw Charles, from an actor perspective, he looked like he was 8, right, to me, at least. And now I think he, to me, looks more like 14, 15. Yeah. But, so we'll see. There's a lot. I mean, if the interesting part to me is now, it almost starts like a brotherly feud in some sense, because how much can you really trust Charles? You want to do right by him. He's your brother, but obviously,
is Charles like a Joffrey sort of guy? Is he, or
he's a brat? He's a teenager. Okay, he's a brat, and
so he's looking forward to his time in the sun, is he?
Yeah, and he doesn't. Well, he's looking forward to his time in the sun. He doesn't want to get married. He's a young kid. He's like, I'm gonna marry for love. Like, you got to marry for love. I'm not gonna marry the woman who you love. Like, you guys are obviously in love, and that's gonna be weird. Like, he's kind of like that's weird. I don't want to do that. Yeah. And mom doesn't like her, so why should I like her? Type of thing. And mom's never done anything wrong by me. Little did he know all the crap that she has done to Mary and Francis, and probably to her son, inadvertently. So, but again, that's why kind of this episode was interesting, because it was him kind of discovering, and I'll be interested to see where they take his character, because
they should have a family therapy session. Could you imagine that? Because all the things Claude could come out with, all the things Francis could come out with.
Well, Narcisse would go in there too, because Narcisse has been with Claude and Catherine, and also Lola, and it's their family.
Narcisse needs to write another
black
book, hand it to Charles, and just be like, read this.
Yeah.
Have fun, buddy.
Advice on life.
All my secrets.
Yeah. Let's get into England. I love kind of being in England. Now we get Elizabeth really on her own without Catherine, and she's making moves on her own, and she, in many ways, loses Robert, her lover.
She does. I don't think she does. She thinks she would lose him if he went to Scotland, but so they're trying to send Robert to Scotland. Her as I'm sure you know, I don't know, her mistress, her mister, the man Robert Dudley, who
is it Darnley? Who's the guy that she falls in love with?
Dudley.
Yeah,
Robert Dudley.
So he's in already.
Yeah, from the get-go. We know about their affair. We've met his wife, too. Okay. They're trying to send him away because her counsel, or at least a couple people on her counsel, like, kind of know that he's distracting her and whatever. Okay. And she doesn't want him to be sent away. Yeah. And so she finds a way. She basically, like, in front of the entire council says, he's not good enough. He can't go to Scotland right now to be our double agent. We need to send somebody else. Okay. So... because everybody was like worried, if you keep him there, like everyone's gonna know that you're like sleeping with him, and.
But that's what I feel like everyone does know.
I know it was stupid. It was really stupid. I don't like them painting Elizabeth like this. Like she's such a strong person and character in real life. So it's interesting now that they're kind of painting her like a petty little brat. Yeah. Who's just like, I don't like Mary, and I want Dudley to stay here, and I don't want to get married. Like, that's, like, literally how I feel like she's acting right now, and I'm like, come on. It's Queen Elizabeth.
She's stronger than that. I think they're painting her as a woman that, yes, has emotions just like a man does.
I thought you were just going to end on, I think they're just painting her like a woman. I was going to be like, whoa.
Whoa. No, I did not say that. And I think they're painting her no different than Mary, which I think both are really strong people. Unfortunately, it's just, all those things are looked down upon by this society. Mm-hmm. So I think it's accurate.
I don't know. I'm excited to see where... I agree. It's more relatable for, obviously, a modern-day audience to see these two very, very strong women, but no matter how strong you are as a character, you are also flawed. Everybody's flawed. Nobody's perfect. And so, yes. But it's annoying to see... She just seems more whiny than Mary has ever been.
Oh, really?
Well, at the same time, they gotta paint her bad, right? I mean, what she does to her friend. Yeah, she is supposed to be
the villain. Yeah, Donatella.
Okay. Right off the bat, she asks for a favor, and then it gets flipped when she's like, "Okay, well, I guess I gotta sacrifice you." Yeah, Mary would never do that. Certainly not to Lola. That's why Lola needs to pick Mary, not Narcisse.
Okay, well,
I'm going back to that argument.
I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens next week. I didn't get to see the preview for next week, so I don't really have many predictions. But I'm excited to see kind of where... Now that, because Elizabeth did choose a spy, Nicholas, to be her new ambassador to France, so we are having a double agent now go to Scotland from England. Oh, cool. And so I think we'll have more kind of connection to the two places. So
because Elizabeth was our connection at first.
Well,
Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
And now
are they shooting the English scenes in Toronto as well?
I think they are. Yeah. I mean, I know they do like a couple weeks in Ireland at that one castle that they do all the exterior shots at.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever get to go there?
No.
Yeah, I think they only shoot like the plates there. I imagine, I guaranteed it's probably, they're right next door to each other. Like, hey, can you quiet down? We're shooting Elizabeth's scenes.
Yeah. It's probably in the same studio, but no, I know a couple of them went out to Ireland last summer and did a bunch of scenes out there. But the castle that they shoot at is so pretty. Like you can stay there as like a hotel. I know I did a castle. Yeah. Well, I did a castle corner, which is like kind of when we talk about a castle on the show. About where they shoot, and it's just a really, really cool place. And it's a hotel, and it's just beautiful. So yeah, it's in Ireland though. So if you ever
that's the good news. I've learned that most of these castles you can get married at. If you want to go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, can one of my friends get married at an interesting location? Love you all, but I'm traveling all over the country, and I'd love to go to England or somewhere in Europe.
These are your Catholic school friends, huh?
Right, no. None of them are married.
Oh, jeez.
Here we go.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. Should we get into news? I know you said you had a lot of news, because we've kind of covered everything on the episode.
Sure. But...
Whoa.
AFTERBUZZ TV News.
All right, just getting right into it. So, Heavy.com came out with an article about pictures that you need to see of...
Adelaide's?
Yes.
I follow her on Instagram.
And don't worry, they're not dirty. So get your mind out of the gutter, people. They're just cool photos of her life that she posts on Instagram.
Well, that's what Instagram's for, right?
Yeah, but, you know, these are, like, really interesting photos.
Do
I don't know.
you have
There's
an
an article.
Instagram?
I do, yeah.
I
I didn't really get into it till just recently, so like, but I have measly like 380 followers.
Hey,
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. What's your Instagram?
Just Gil Darnell, or one word.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have like kung fu and horse pictures on there?
Totally.
Always. Oh,
Totally.
that's all it is.
That's
Kung
it.
fu and horses
and
or
puppies,
wushu.
puppies.
Oh,
Yeah,
this is like the perfect Instagram. Why do you not have? Why are you not like gone viral yet?
Yeah. No, I just started.
And then there was...
what's Adelaide been posting? From her youth, or?
She
Well,
has
you're
really
gonna have to-
cute stuff. No, I
I'm
follow
gonna have to
her.
follow her. Okay.
I do follow her.
We're
She
from
has
the same
cute
hometown.
stuff.
So both from Perth, yeah.
Oh, that's like on the opposite. I've been on the other side of Australia, but not Perth.
Boring. You gotta go
far.
west. Go
I know.
west.
I haven't gone west yet. I have to cross an
Yeah.
entire country. That was much more expensive plane ticket. I road tripped to Australia, which
really?
was awesome.
Oh,
Yeah,
very cool.
yeah. I got a lot of friends in the sunny coast. So
The sunny coast.
the sunny coast,
Sunshine coast.
Sunshine coast. Yeah, sorry.
The
Sunshine.
whole,
Yeah, like
the
the
whole
sunny-
coast of Australia is sunny. It's
The
like, wait,
Sunshine Coast. I have
Sunshine
a lot
Coast,
of
yeah,
friends
it's
because they
gorgeous.
all worked on Survivor when I worked on Survivor. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, good stuff. But yeah, Adelaide's Instagram is awesome. She posts a lot about cats, not
Okay.
puppies, and she goes to Disneyland with other cast members. That's what's fun. I love when like you guys like they cast behind the scenes or post behind the scenes photos because it's fun to see kind of them in period costumes and then just goofing off.
Yeah.
It's like they're just like us.
And then she also kind of went on to say how she got into the accent for the show. I never studied American accents in terms of getting a teacher or taking phonetics classes. I've always been a good mimic. It really wasn't that hard for me.
But she doesn't really have an American accent in the show. It sounds more like British.
No. She means a British accent, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, maybe.
Well, I mean, the
unless
quote
she's talking about her
says
reign.
American, so.
Oh, okay. Maybe she's talking about a rain. So.
Did you guys talk about, because obviously like your character you're Scottish, right? No, or French.
No,
you're
no,
French.
French, yeah.
Yeah, you're French.
Yeah.
So did they talk to you about kind of the way your accent needed to be, or were they just like do standard kind of English?
Yeah. Actually, that's how I found out I was going to be killed, because I had a dialect session before every episode. So I'd have before the last episode, I had a Skype session with my dialect coach. She said, and first thing she says, "I can't believe you're being killed off." I said, "What?"
Oh!
Yeah, it's like, because normally you find out at the table read.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'd have a dialect coach, and then we'd just work on that stringently before the episode, and yeah. So, but yeah, we received pronunciation was how we were meant to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I always want, because I remember when the show first came out, people were like, oh, why aren't they doing French accents, or why aren't they doing Scottish accents, and why is it just standard English, or I get, what is that called, the accent that you guys are
received
doing?
pronunciation.
Okay.
RP, yeah.
RP.
Yeah. Not standard English.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
I'm okay
But
with it because I can understand.
she's not like, because I know Joss Whedon started following her on Twitter. That like I think he's got her in mind for some big job, I'm sure. There's something there, like, is she gonna be a new superhero or something, or I don't know.
What's your
Maybe.
favorite accent to do?
Irish, I think.
Really?
Irish, yeah.
Can we hear some?
To be sure. No, it's like yeah, it's just, I don't know why, but yeah, absolutely Irish.
Irish?
We Australians and Irish we associate ourselves very closely with them. We're very laid back and very.
You guys like to drink.
Very,
You
yeah.
guys like to party.
I actually don't really drink at all, even.
I've
But,
never met an Australian that doesn't drink.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, we're famous for our drinking. The Irish are famous for the drinking, and they just don't take life too seriously, I guess. It's like it's our flaw as well as a positive, I guess, for the Aussies.
All right. Well, you're hopefully one of your favorite segments of the entire show, Castle Corner.
Do we have a theme song for that yet? I know we did at one point.
No, but we have a bed of music.
We do?
That we sometimes play.
All right, give me my Castle Corner for this week. I'm excited. First of the season.
Here's Marissa, one of our producers here. She makes fun of me because I picked the hardest castles to do. So Keetin, why don't you tell us which castle we're doing? It's from Sweden.
It looks like it's Boss Jokloster.
Oh my lord!
There you go. Now,
Oh my god!
I think I got it.
Now, interestingly enough, we're going with the theme of tonight. We're gonna bring up the pictures for you guys.
So you bring up the picture of that castle, do you?
Yes.
Yeah, where is it? It's going to come right there?
Yep, we're bringing it up for you guys. And, the interesting part is that it started off as a nunnery in the 16th century, right? So we're going with Keatin's theme here.
Who finds these castles?
We just pick one at random.
Pick one at random every week.
And so the estate then became Danish crown property. It was donated to the former Archbishop of Lund,
Pictures over there.
Torrenbell Bill, under the condition that he'd take care of the remaining nuns. And in 1560, Frederick II of Denmark gave the estate as a barter to the widowed Scandinavian noblewoman Thal Ustand. Her initial.
Yeah. What do you?
Well, you can
pick these names.
Fair enough. Okay.
This sounds like Monty Python, the Holy Grail.
I know.
Is this a true story?
This is true.
You can keep reading, Keatin.
What the castle passed? Okay, yeah, the castle passed to the Beck family through marriage in 1629, but when Jacqueline Beck lost the family fortune, it was sold to Corfitz Ulfeldt to repay his debts. Ulfeldt was a Danish aristocrat famous for having switched sides. When he showed up at peace negotiations at the Treaty of, oh my gosh, these words spell, Roskilde proceedings to negotiate on behalf of Sweden, he was convicted of treason by a Danish
That's a
court.
regular word.
That's a regular word.
Words.
Yeah, I don't have. Soon thereafter, he was also convicted of treason by a Swedish court. That he's failing right there, and was forced into exile. His wife, daughter of Christian the Fourth, was captured in his place by the Danish authorities and was imprisoned in the Blue Tower in Copenhagen for 22 years. Sounds like the Tower of London type of thing. The composer Hilding Rosenberg was born here in oh, that's cool. So,
No, you know Hilding Rosenberg, do you?
Yeah.
You do?
Well, no, I don't, but he's a composer, and
Okay.
he was born. I assume he must be somewhat important because I don't know.
Why else would you be reading
Why
about
else
him?
would I be reading about it? The castle was sequestered by the Swedish state and fell into despair after a lawsuit in 1735. This castle was returned to the Beck family, who renovated the castle and sold it in 1908 to Count Philip Bond, whose family still owns Bosch Joschloster.
By the way, one of the reasons that took a little bit long, just to give you an insight into the behind the scenes, was Keatin was skipping over the hard words.
Yeah, I know, right?
And trying to rephrase them.
I had to skip over the hard words.
All right, so we have some photos here, and the interesting part. So I'm learning just even this for myself. Castles come in all different shapes and sizes, and so as you guys can see, and we're watching it.
It looks like a nunnery.
Yeah,
It does
exactly.
look like a nunnery.
It does not look like a castle at
Get
all,
thee
but it does
to
have
a
a moat.
nunnery.
It's got a moat around it, and there's an aerial view of it. And there's from the inside, and that's the aerial
Beautiful.
view. So again, not your typical castle, but a castle nonetheless in Sweden.
I like it. I like it a lot.
That's how it sounds today, huh?
Yeah.
That's really cool. Thank you, Phil.
So there you go, Castle Corner of the day. If you can say the word, you get 10 extra points.
Yeah, can somebody like tweet at me how to say that like phonetically? That would be helpful. Thank you. Just for learning purposes.
All right, and that about wraps it up for today's episode of the Reign After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. Keetin, Marchi, where can the good people follow you?
Oh, you guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Keetin Marchi. I keep it simple. Just my
There you
name.
go. Gil? Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Gil Darnell, all at one word.
And don't forget to check out Fox's Bones Thursday nights at 8
Yes.
p.m.
That's right.
And that
That's fun.
photographer. I'm going to look him up.
Yeah. Oh, the one thing about this guy is he's my Facebook friend now, so like every one of his photos is just amazing. It's just like about like.
Follow him on
Oh my God.
Instagram.
Yeah, seriously, right?
There you go. Thank you guys, and follow us here at AfterBuzz TV, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And if you like to watch us, go to youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV, subscribe there. Or if you're listening on the iTunes and podcast side of things, be sure to comment there. We appreciate your support, and we love doing this for you guys. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.